For this next part, we're going to introduce basically a board state. So in the beginning videos, we had the board that we created, which was 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, so this is what the user doesn't really see, but that's what they'll interact with. Now, on our side, we're going to have a board that we have created in our JavaScript called board state. And this, board state. And this will be stored in our JavaScript. And so we have a 3x3 grid, but there's nothing going on. There's no X's, there's no O's in that grid, but we need to assign it a value or something we like to call null. So it's nothing yet, but it will be something soon. So I'm going to assign this whole grid null. And once the player selects it, it'll become an X or an O. But until then, the board state will be null. All right, so hopefully that makes sense. Now, how do we create this board state? If you think about it, this is just one very big array. So we're going to make this into an array. So we'll have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 positions in our array. All right. So 9 total, but 0 to 8. That'll be 9 positions. So we're going to go back to our JavaScript file. And let's just comment this function out for now. And we're going to introduce the variable called board state. Like I said, we're going to put it all in an array. So square brackets, null. So this null will be 0, position 0. This null will be position 1. This null will be position 2. All right, and for visual sake, we'll go down a line, and this null will be 3. This null will be 4. This null will be 5. And then this null will be 6. This null will be 7. And this null will be 8. So there you have it. That's our board state that we're going to manipulate with JavaScript. All right, now what we're going to do is actually we're going to spruce up our play function. So we still have our function called play, and it's still going to take a box. And now we need to change our if. Okay, our if. And what we're going to first check to make sure this spot, one of these null spots, is not actually taken. So if board state and we're going to pass in the box ID, and we're going to check if it's equal to null, then we'll be able to play that position. Okay, so all that, if it's able to play, we'll do this. Else, if that position is taken, we're going to alert the player invalid move. Or you could say, hey, you can't do that because that's not legal. Somebody already has an X there. You can't put your O there. It's an invalid move. But if it is a valid move, then we can go back to our old function. Okay. So we can type within this if statement, if next player is true or false, but if it's next player, we can make the board state now. Board state box ID, and we can set that value equal to X. All right, so this board state ID, so if it's 0, it's going to go here. It's going to change this 0 to X. Okay. Else, make sure I put this else statement. Else board state ID will be an O. So we still have the same logic here. And once the turn is over, we're going to use our bang operator. And say it's your turn. Okay, so remember this bang operator says my turn, your turn, my turn, your turn. And lastly, what we want to do is console.log this board state to make sure everything is going well, and we can double check if the game is being played correctly. All right, so what I went ahead and did is I added from our previous code, box.innerHTML, and I placed it back into our new function where it also changes our array. So we should see two things change. We should see the board change on our screen, and we should see the array change with X's and O's. All right, so we have this here and this here. All right, so now let's try to run this in our browser. So we're going to click on index.html, and here is our game. And then what we're going to do is we're going to hit inspect, and now we have or look in our body, and you can see our table. And I'll just open these up so you can see what they're saying. So right now they're not saying much. It's saying there's nothing there. So get used to using these tools. They're very, very important, and you know, as you develop as a web developer, you're going to be using dev tools a lot. So let's click on one of these boxes and see what happens. All right, so as we expected, like from the previous video, we pressed it and it changed the inner HTML to X. But now with our new board state, it changed the array to an X here. So not only do we have an X in our array, we have an X on the screen, so we can see both things happening. Now it's O player's turn, so let's try to change it, and there we have an O. So X O O, Now, previously before, when we tried to click X, it would change to O if the player already clicked it. So let's try to click X and see what happens. Wow, okay. So invalid move. So we can't do that. So that is not a possible move. Awesome. So everything is working. And once again, it runs the array again. And now let's try to finish the game out. And everything seems to be working. Oh. And now it should be X player's turn. Now, this should be a winning move. Whoever takes this box, X versus O, but right now it's O's turn. And now O, that should be it. The game should be over. 3 O's in a row, game over. But we don't have a function right now that even says how the game ends. But we are able to mark all the boxes, and we can't change them or else we'll get invalid moves. So everything is going well so far to what we wrote to our spec. So let's just go ahead and try to fix this problem of winning.